before we start, I have to do kind of a little announcement thing. So.
Wait, is one of our characters going to die in this session?
I don't have any control.
You don't know.
Wash my hands.
Good point. Yeah, exactly. Not my bad.
Well, yes, but...
So, yeah, really quick before we get going. Holisty, I hope I'm saying your name right. One of the YouTube viewers had commented, and I just have to put in this little disclaimer. At least it's not a cow.
All right,
and I've got the Monty Python catapult, you know.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So
perfect.
Yeah.
Last time you were heading into Gracklestog.
Yes.
Hopefully with, I'm guessing, the intention of trying to secure some passage to the surface world.
Oh, yeah. But first,
a message from our sponsor.
Wait. NordVPN, did you know? No, we need to, like, some of the better YouTubers, they'll segue it in, right? So I walk up to a guard and I say to the guard, yes, I'd like to get passage to the surface. And the guard's like, shh, don't you realize I could get you killed? You should have NordVPN to protect the trip you're about to go on.
I'm from the clan Nord.
You're right, of course. And just, you know.
I thought it was going to be like powdered Jubilex gamer fuel.
Yes.
Seems to be the new thing as of late. Like, get your powdered gamer fuel stuff.
That
gives
awful.
you constitution quickly.
Oh, yeah, that is technically a true statement. Speaking of which, so I hate to add something into the past, but on the trip here, can I rip the demonic energy out of this thing without drinking it? Because we had like days, right?
Right.
You can try.
The first thing, because just in case it comes up, is somebody wanting to attune to the Ring of Spell Storing and put some spells in because you have days.
Okay, so I had a thought about that, which I already shared with Guido. Basically, both of you are good picks there for obvious reasons. If you wanted to, and this is totally up to you, you could also toss spells into it, and then I equip it, and then I also can either heal or nuke, depending on your thing. And that's I'm not pushing. It's just an idea I had.
I think Dawnbringer would disown me if I even tempted that idea, because that stuff it's an icon of darkness that is diametrically opposed.
I mean,
to Dawnbringer.
It's cool. It's fun.
Besides, it's basically. Do you want to bring another girl into the relationship? You're gonna have jealousy across the board on both sides. It's like, nah. I don't need to attune to an extra person.
I like the idea of possibly Taston and I casting spells into the ring for Mark to use.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. Like, think of the healing you could do.
Yeah.
It's
be a very mobile healer. And you can even put a fireball in there. Or a lightning bolt.
Think of the burning you could do.
It looks like, if I'm reading the description carefully, it looks like you do not have to be using it to, like, you just cast in, like either of you could cast in at will.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Kind of like a Green Lantern ring or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it can go up to 5 spell levels worth, so either like 5 level 1s or 3 and 2 or whatever.
Or 1 level 5 fireball.
Yep.
Still don't have fireball.
Yeah, don't have a level 5
1
spell
level
also.
5 lightning bolt.
No, that was actually like really good in that no oxygen place.
Yes,
I guess now that it's over, I can tell you that for every fire damage die you rolled, it reduced the oxygen by 1 hour. So if you did a fireball, that's 8 hours of oxygen just gone.
Perfect.
Nice.
Wow.
Nothing but safety here.
And Platty, thank you for that resub. I greatly appreciate it, as always. Thank you.
I just realized I didn't even notice this. I was wondering what you meant, Test, and you're like, it's an evil ring. And I'm like, what are you talking about? This item is linked to great deeds of evil committed by a minion of Jubilex.
I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the manual I read.
I apparently skipped over that mentally.
Like, flavor text, please.
What's funny is it gives me a disadvantage on persuasion checks on any creatures with a Netherese lineage.
Mm-hmm. Which admittedly you probably won't run into a whole lot, but
if you did, you would not
you'd be able to identify them because they'd look nervous around you.
Also, the echoes of stolen minds that the former wearers of the ring has taken.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I shouldn't wear this.
That's a +2 to initiative.
Starting to change my mind a little bit here. I don't want to be eaten by a ring.
It's slightly
slime.
tainted.
Oh yeah, we got to. Who wants to read out what the slime does on camera? We got to read that out loud. This is so horrible.
It's so bad.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Give me just a moment. I need to pull it back up.
I was like, I wouldn't drink it last session.
God. I was thinking about it. I'm like, no, I probably shouldn't do that yet. I'll learn more about it first. We'll identify it first.
Always let the wizard identify it.
All right. Just gonna switch over to the intermission screen here.
Okay.
There we go. All right. Essence of Jubilex. This opalescent symbiotic ooze comes sealed in a jar and slowly shifts and moves as if endlessly exploring the jar's interior. To attune to this item, you must drink the contents of the jar. An experiment by the Netherese wizard Dambrath that came from his study of Jubilex and how its power could be used to strengthen the body in a way similar to devotees of Moander, without the associated side effects. Due to an untimely death, his research was ended before the essence could be perfected. Slimy Boon. When first attuned, roll 1d8 and add the result to your constitution. Then subtract the same amount from a random ability to score determined by rolling a d6. Intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. These ability score changes last until you are no longer attuned. Symbiotic nature. The ooze can't be removed from you while you're attuned to it, and you can't voluntarily end your attunement to it. If you're targeted by a spell that ends a curse, your attunement to the ooze ends, and you take 4d10 acid damage as it seeps out of you. Become one. If you die while the ooze is inside you, it bursts out and engulfs you, turning your corpse into a black pudding aligned with Jubilex. You can be restored to life only by means of a true resurrection or wish spell.
It's pretty good.
So yeah, I think Guido, your Discord response to that was pretty much universally like that.
Nope.
That's the correct response. Nope. So much nope. Yeah, the ring I can entertain, but no, the Slimer high C juice box, no, we're gonna have to pass on that one.
I mean, I don't think your sword would be too bothered. I mean, she'd be like, "What are you drinking? Nothing.
Nothing.
Don't worry about it." But you see,
you're drinking again.
Are you drinking demons again?
Yeah, again.
This is an intervention.
Yeah, that would suck because if somebody did that and we did a greater restoration from Dawnbringer, that would break the spell, and then immediately somebody takes 4d10 acid damage.
Yeah. I mean, I could live through that. It is possible to live through that.
I mean, yep.
Yeah, but then we go back to the whole RoboCop thing again. That's just bad.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry for interrupting the intro.
It's important item lore.
Yeah.
Flatty.
So that's apparently getting put in the pocket for right now.
I was voting to give it to a street urchin, but that's just where I'm at.
Aren't you an urchin background?
A different one.
Okay.
That's why I know it'll work.
No, I'm a different street urchin. It's okay.
No, not me.
Yeah.
Okay. And it sounds like Mark is attuning to the spell storing ring, so he can be...
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll do it to it.
So the question is, what spells are going to be in the ring? Because you have several days to cast
we've got tons of time. So what do you think is most... okay, I hate to metagame, but we do know we're walking into a town. So we probably don't need combat stuff right now. Do you have any, either of you have, utility stuff? Because if you don't, I do have an idea.
So if I put a cantrip in there Or if
That's a
Guido
good
puts a
question.
cantrip in there, can you cast them over and over again if it's just a cantrip?
No, it acts like a level 1 spell.
Ah,
Yeah.
It's like give him prestidigitation. That's the most
infinite
useful. Yeah,
prestidigitation.
it's like
No,
boom,
unfortunately
done.
I was going to suggest decurse from cleric. I don't know what level that is though.
Remove curses level 3.
Okay, so what were you going to say, Guido?
Well, do we want? I mean, I'm not sure what you mean by utility per se.
Well, there's combat, and then there's everything else.
There's combat. There's healing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're thinking not combat or healing then?
Yeah, like at least while we're going into town.
Okay.
Unless you want to just store something long term, and I can just hold on to it for as an emergency.
Say mending is pretty utilitarian. It's a cantrip.
Mage
well,
hand.
that'd be one.
Mage hand, yeah.
What level's mage hand?
Cantrip.
So we could do mage hand, mending, and remove curse.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
What's the name of this ring? I closed Discord again.
And summon Tarask.
It's a ring of spell storing.
Oh, duh.
Wait a minute.
Or identify. Comprehend languages.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, that. What level's comprehend?
First.
Is that an action to use?
Yes.
I'm sorry. To use the spell, is it just one action? It's just standard action?
Mm-hmm.
Just making sure. Okay. Because I was like, wait a second. I didn't mean the spell. Sorry. So, okay. I really like the idea of getting curse in there because we're encountering so many curses. But that
No idea why.
Yeah, I know, right? But that leaves us 2 slots for we got identify, languages, mending,
Mage hand.
Mage hand.
hand.
So comprehend language, identify, mage hand, prestidigitation.
We could also just skip curse and just get all of those in. Because that would be 5 at that point.
Well, because we can do this again.
Yeah, that's true.
We're just
Let's
doing
do
it
that. Let's do that.
for entry into the town.
So let's do that. So I'll go ahead and so we got comprehend languages, mage hand, prestidigitation.
That's the one.
I'm not gonna type that out. Mage hand, conferences, mending, and what was the 5th one? Languages, mage hand, prestidigitation, mending.
Identify.
Identify the language.
That's it. I have language.
It's comprehend language and
identify is the other one. Okay, yeah. Right.
Yep. How long does it take to if a spell is expended to refill the ring with a spell that's been expended? Is it just
You just cast it like you're casting a spell, except the target is the ring.
okay?
Oh, okay. So cantrips are going to be super handy with
I was
that.
gonna say, yeah, we can just slot in and out pretty much at will then, as long as
That's the advantage of cantrips. You can just refill it like within 6 seconds if you need to.
Cool. Okay. I got it down. I have my 5 spells. I immediately cast. No, I don't.
Oh, jeez, we just did this.
I'm not. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just I wanted to play around with it. Real
Just a
quick.
This is
random
already a
mage
bad
hand.
idea.
Occasionally, you're like, "Can I have another?"
I walk back to Liam. Could you please?
Excuse me, sir. May I have some more?
Oh, here we go. I've got the ring on now. I'm good.
Got any more of that mage hand?
I like Ogre's idea, by the way. Oh my god, I like Ogre's idea because it wouldn't be useful like to attack someone, but at the same time, if we want to torture or like brutally kill someone, we could just force feed them that ooze, and then decurse them.
Wow, that's super dark. Okay.
Immediately.
Wow.
And they just take 4d10 acid damage, and we scoop the ooze back up.
Wow.
Can the ooze be recovered after that?
Yeah.
I was gonna say it is ejected through their body, so I was assuming. Yeah.
So that's like the next level of waterboarding.
Yes.
Dear.
All right, you're gonna feel acid
Okay.
coming out of your skin. What?
Yeah, this might
Honestly.
sting a bit.
Or you can tell me what I want to know. I'll
Yeah.
tell you anything.
So here's the thing: if it nukes their intelligence, what are they going to tell you?
Oh no, this has gone horribly wrong.
But it's only a -2 to intelligence, isn't it?
Yeah, but
No, it's whatever
whatever they roll. It could be a
corresponding
-8.
con base.
Oh, it could be up to
upgrade.
an O.
So
Yeah.
if they had an 8 or lowered one of these and you nuke that, it actually could just instantly kill them.
Yeah.
Like via brain death, basically.
Thank you for that, host, Darth Tyron. Appreciate that.
Very unlikely, but it could happen.
Anyways, I've once again interrupted you. I apologize. Wait, you never answered my question. Damn it. Can I absorb the demonic power from this thing without drinking it?
Oh yeah, back to that.
How do you want to try and do that?
I go to Bupido and I say, can I absorb the demonic power from this thing without drinking it?
He says, just out in the middle of nowhere, I don't know, maybe.
Okay, cool.
I've never seen anything like this before.
We'll look into it in town.
Gotta trust me.
We'll look into it.
Maybe once we get back to my lab back in town, we can do.
Wait,
something
your lab is in this town?
Well, he's from this
Yes, that's why I'm coming with you.
Oh, I thought you were just like a crazy hobo who was. No, I'm kidding. I'm not actually. I'm not actually saying that.
town. Wow.
Now, could you experiment
That's
on
my
my
neighbor.
soul, please? Not if it's.
I know, right?
No, I'm.
Yeah.
He says he'll look into it. That's good enough for me. Now I'm done interrupting you.
All right.
Shut up officially.
All right. Oh, look, it's Gracklestug. We're here.
Hey. So, can you? No, I'm kidding.
No, just to go over the description of last time as a refresher. You are entering the environs of Gracklestug, and it becomes very apparent that you are getting close to it because the ground actually becomes paved. You start seeing structures that are inhabited and well built, but very undecorative, if that makes sense. They're architecturally sound, but they're not very creative. Very practical. You are on the main road with many other merchants and travelers who are going the same way as you are. You've heard people talking about various things, mainly talking shop. And as you have gotten closer, Ari, the caravan leader, the Deep Gnome caravan leader, starts handing out these handkerchief, these bandanas to wrap around your face, saying that the smog here is it's pretty bad. So you're going to want to keep these on when you're here. The locals are a little more used to it, but if you're here for too long, you're probably going to catch the grackle lung sooner than later.
That sounds bad.
Well, it's not too bad. You cough up a bunch of, black gunk, and that normally lasts for a day or so, and then you get used to it, at least until they switch some of the chemicals and materials they've been working with. And as you continue to get closer and closer, you start seeing actual uniformed guards. In stark contrast to what was in Blingenstone, they have proper uniforms, they have proper armaments, very well-made black metal. And they seem to go in and out of existence at times as they turn invisible and go visible again. They seem to be keeping a very, very close eye on the people coming into town. And to describe them a bit, these are Durgar, the gray dwarves, not named because their skin is this gray, almost like ash, but more for their personality. They are very straight and to the point, which comes across very much in their mannerisms, even when doing shakedowns of various people that, when you look at them, probably deserved it. They are very practical. They don't harass them more than they need to. They just go in there, do their business, and get out. At one point in time, the caravan leader, Aries, even asked for some papers, and she does produce some. They seem to be legit, and they allow her to move on. And you approach what seems to be one of the main gates that people are streaming into. And these things are massive, probably 40 so feet high, and very, very thick. You can tell even just looking at it from the outside. There are scores of Duragar up on the battlements, the tops of them looking down. They all have these very strange-looking crossbows. And Mark, you'd probably know because you've probably seen a few of these passing through dwarven hands. These are repeating crossbows. They have some mounts around here, and they seem to enjoy riding what looks like large arachnids. Yep.
Right.
You don't see a whole lot of them, but you can tell why they use them, because they use them to scale walls up and down. They seem to be very mobile around this area. You see in various buildings and even some stalactites and stalagmites as you go through, arrow slits that have been carved into there. You get the feeling that there are probably at least half a dozen crossbows trained on you at any one time as you're passing through this area. They seem to be very, very militaristic and very paranoid. As a matter of fact, Ari makes an offhand comment that she hasn't seen the Duragar so riled up and up in arms about something in quite some time. Nonetheless, you're not really harassed aside from that one initial encounter. And when you get to the gates, you start really smelling and feeling and hearing the city. And you see visible smog over this city. It's almost covering the ceiling, so you can't even see the top of it. It smells like a foundry. You smell that very, very strongly, and it immediately just starts getting into your lungs and your nose. And I mean, if you're not used to it, it stinks very badly and is irritating. The masks help a bit, but I mean, not nearly enough. You can tell almost immediately. There's also the continuous din of hammers and machinery coming from the city. And that's really almost all you hear from it. It just sounds like in a massive machine shop, to the point where as you get closer, you have to almost shout to be heard over each other. From this point on, if you make any perception checks related to hearing, they're at a disadvantage while you're in the city. Okay.
I am going to cast Prestidigitation on my face mask.
Okay.
And make it smell like roses.
Okay. Fair enough. So it's a little bit of a mixture, and you have to occasionally recast it, but it definitely helps it a whole lot.
I cast Prestidigitation on.
Yep.
I'm going to actually ask you to do it.
You may or may not notice that I'm casting a spell. Aha.
Oh, that's a good point. Let me roll for that. Hang on. Where's my?
Are you trying to hide your spell casting?
There it is.
No, I just was being a dick.
Damn it, man. Will you please enlighten? I want the smell of
chocolate.
No. They actually sell these in real life. You get it looks like a broom and you put it up.
Potpourri?
No. I think it's cinnamon. Hang on.
I've seen pine cones that have that kind of smell, and they're kind of overpowering.
Oh, there we go. I'm gonna make it smell like one of those pine car air fresheners.
Oh
God. It is
the
cinnamon.
worst.
I was right. It is cinnamon.
Cinnamon?
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
Cadiz, are you interested in something, or do you?
Are you just fine with that
as well?
I've been looking through. I do not have the ability. I'd love to have something akin to coffee grounds.
Coffee. All right.
Yeah, that seems to be something that overpowers most other smells and is pleasant.
Okay. It lasts for an hour. So.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So the caravan starts asking for this as well.
Time to make some money.
It becomes more apparent that you're doing something that makes this smell.
I was about to say, this might be the time to charge. Just a little bit, not too much.
Mine smells like bacon.
5 copper per.
There you go.
Oh, do you want to hawk this? I mean, there's merchants all around.
I was about to say, we're in a merchant hub. If you want to actually sell Prestidigitation masks.
And the route has slowed down enough because at this point you're kind of packed in with everybody and streaming in, and you're obviously in some sort of line once you get closer to the gates, and they're actually kind of like towering over you. And you're going in the middle of the open gate, because it'll slow down and like stop and start up and stop. You can get kind of the traffic pattern there. So if you want to,
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure.
okay,
Yeah.
Set up shop.
yeah. Well, so make me either a persuasion or performance.
Ooh.
I will assist. Because
Oh, yeah,
I'm
for sure you can.
I'm obviously I'm a purchase. I'm not just a whatever. I'm a client, right?
So I actually have persuasion as one of my.
Nice.
So
Come on.
Just persuading as well to assist. Yes.
It gives him advantage.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
okay,
Take
So-
advantage.
that would have been a 21, and that's a 22.
Wow. All right. So with Mark doing a little barking and handling, and Liam, you getting people directed to you, Liam. Apparently, having a wizard or even a spellcaster of some sort is mighty rare, especially around here. So people are like, this guy can make this actually tolerable, at least for a little bit. Yeah. So let's see. Of course, all the people coming here have money. So they're like, whatever.
Hello, Codex. Yes, D&D.
And you're charging 5 copper per?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not exorbitant.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
Yeah, 5
okay.
pounds of copper. What? Yeah.
You're actually able to hit up quite a few people. So you get 2.3 gold out of this. And you also get a chance to look at the coinage of the city as well, because some of it, all of it actually is in local coinage. You see that on one side of the coins here, and they have it in different denominations, like normal copper, silver, gold, because everybody uses the same standard around here, right? They seem to have the face of some very elderly looking and important looking, perhaps, or maybe he's been drawn that way, looking dwarf, Duragar on one side. And if you can read Dwarven, which I'm sure somebody will at some point get you to read.
That's the dwarf.
Yeah. It says, inscribed along the bottom, King, what is his name? That's what it says. King, what is his name? I always forget this guy's first name. Deep King Horgar Steel Shadow V. And on the other side, there is what looks like a Mind Flayer skull. If you'd like to roll a history check on this particular thing, you may.
I'll do that. I got history.
Ooh, natural 20.
Or religion. Ooh, well.
I might have that.
So that makes it 27.
Okay.
7.
22.
And that's with
On
history
religion.
bonuses.
Okay. So we'll do history first. So you know that this is not really... This is related to Mind Flayers, but it's not like, hey, or Mind Flayers or anything like this. This is a historical group that is part of the Duragar. Actually, it is a religious symbol, and it is well baked into their culture because they have historically had several gods that they've revered, and they're not deeply religious, but they bake it into the culture nonetheless. Religiously, you know that this is, and both of you get the name, this is a Deep Dura, a deity, otherwise known as the Queen of the Invisible Art, known for psionics, conquest, and expansion. So pretty important deity to the Duragar, who are known to meddle in all of those things. You know historically that there is a festival that takes place in the city, which is one of the rare things that the Duragar actually celebrate, because they're not known to do that a whole lot. And You, yeah, I mean that's. It is said that historically that the Queen of the Invisible Art herself was like actually physically took part in some of the Durgar's history and led some of their forces. So. Mm-hmm. Although you don't know religiously, Tastin, Mord and her don't get along. Like at all. But also, doesn't get along with Illithids either. So, enemy of my enemy.
Makes sense.
Anyway, that is on their official coinage.
One other thing, as we're doing this entrepreneurial venture, I'm going to keep an eye out for anyone that looks noble-ish or like high-ranking, more important than the general
rest
population.
Of us, because you're tired of dealing with these plebeians.
I would be.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead and you may make either a perception or investigation check on this. Either looking for obvious signs of nobility or looking for clues that people that you can already see.
I'm going to do investigation because I have a +7 to that.
Okay. So looking for contact clues, deducing that kind of stuff.
Nah, that's not going to be enough. That's a 12.
A 12? Okay.
Yeah.
I will tell you this: you don't see anyone that's like obvious nobility, but you can tell that many of these people are very rich, and some of them are doing their best to not hide it, but not make it very evident. So like a couple of your customers are like, "Oh, he's a merchant," unless you notice that that's actually not a $5 pair of boots. That's actually like 300 gold. Things like that.
So whoever's doing my advertising, I'm just going to, I'll say, subtly point them out and see if they're interested. You're muted, Lore.
Sorry. I'll roll them over and just be like, yeah. Did you know? This has got to be my 13th, 14th trip here. I never get used to the smell. But a friend of mine over there, he gave me onto a tip. Here, check this out. And I'll pull out the scarf a little bit, let him smell it. See?
Okay.
Helps. Helps mask, right? It helps disguise it. And I quickly put it back on.
And Ventures, it's Gracklestug.
Yep, Gracklestug. So this happens to be a. So let me ask this. There's a couple of people that are like that. There are Durgar like that. There are some Drow. You see some orcs as well. And yeah, that seems to be out of the people that you identified, the ones that you would want to point out. Which one would you point out?
Orcs are probably not going to care that much. You said Drow and Durgar?
Mm-hmm.
I will leave that decision to Mark.
I'm going straight for the Drow.
Okay. All right. So it's a group of them. They have their attendees amongst them, but Liam, you've definitely identified them as probably very, very wealthy, if not important, maybe both. Although exactly how, not that sure. But yeah, you go up to the one who is obviously in charge there, or at the very least the one who's presenting himself as in charge. You see some house symbols on them.
Is even a house I recognize? I've encountered like three, I think, at this
it's
point.
none that you have encountered yet. You may roll a history check if you'd like.
I'll go ahead and toss it out. That nope.
What'd you get?
I got a 9.
9. Okay, yeah. You don't know any of these.
I know I don't recognize them. That's the big one. I'm like,
yeah. So the symbol kind of looks like it's. There's no way for me to actually describe this.
It's fine. It's fine. There's a symbol. Got it.
Yeah, there's a symbol.
And I'm like, wow, that symbol is it's indescribable. I love it. It's much better than house. What's the name of the priestess with us? What's house is she from?
She is from.
I think I wrote this down.
Vandre.
Vandre. It is Vandre. Did I write that down? No, not Duskgren. Sorry, Duskgren's another one. I wrote that one down. Anyways, it's much better than House Vendre's. I'm just saying.
Oh, word. What do they actually think? I actually need to look up Drow house relations now. Thank you.
Great, you've started a war.
Look what you've done.
It was always the plan. I want the Drow killing each other.
So this is different than Mr. Savara.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Ilvara, it was Mizram.
Right. Okay. Just double checking because I actually have that in notes.
I'll say, yeah, I have Mizran and the other one, Duskgren, in my notes as the 2.
All right, go ahead and roll me a d6.
Okay. That's a 6.
6.
That's either really good or much worse than that.
Okay. So, you.
This goes really well, right?
How it goes like super well. Really, really, really well.
I'm looking forward to this outcome.
So one thing that just does stick out is that it seems to have both an equal amount of male and female drow, which seems to be of equal stature.
Oh,
in this
okay.
house.
That's pretty weird, but okay.
Yep. And so you approach one, and they all look to be spellcasters of some sort, and they're obviously flaunting it. You know, they've got the whole, oh, I'm a wizard with fine robes thing going on. Proudly presenting their spellcasting foci, that kind of things. And they're all blinged out. They've got stuff, embellishments that you look at them, you're like, they obviously don't need half of that stuff. They're just trying to look cool. They're the scene people. And you approach one, and he gives you this. What do you say, Vandre?
What?
What did you say? What house did you say, Vandre?
Hers. I think it was Vandre. Yeah, I need to write that down.
He gives you one of the wizards there. He gives you big ol' smile. You're like, that's a little too big. And he says,
I immediately kill him.
No.
Wow.
He says, and might you be, sir, a friend of House Vandre, as are we? Are you a courier? Is your master here?
My master is indeed here. I'm going to point to the woman. If he can see her, if he can pick her out in the crowd.
The one who's in chains?
That's the one.
Yeah, that's gonna. Should we roll initiative now or wait?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for initiative. Let's do it.
Well, maybe if it was the same house, but he looks over and says, "How interesting."
I thought you might enjoy that. Listen, I just wanted to offer. I know, Drow, of your esteemed position and house. I'm sorry, I don't recognize that house.
He says, Zorlaren.
Zorlaren sucks. Got it. No, I'm writing down my notes. Not. No, I like the thing. I pull up my notepad, Zorlaren, and then I just add the other word. I don't say it out loud. I just add it. Sorry, taking notes. I gotta see. You have so many houses down here. It's so hard to keep track of. I lose my accent in the middle of my speech.
Oh, there's something you should probably learn. It's like knowing the capitals, right?
Of course. I mean, I can tell you the capital of 3, I think, the areas around here, something like that. So yeah, no, I just you're doing so well, and your house is so awesome. And I wanted to say, and I should probably actually roll charisma at some point in the middle of this, and roll better than that. That I feel people of your esteemed nature probably deserve better than to smell. Well, I mean, I can't even. Yeah, I'm not even sure why you put up with this. Honestly, I mean, this is the kind of thing that, well, House Duskren would do. Smelling, it's just walking about, not even.
Indeed, but one gets used to it when you are an emissary of Gracklestug.
Oh, I see. So you put up with it because you're not smart enough to actually go and try to deal with it. Is that what I'm hearing?
Is that what you're saying to him, really?
No.
Wow, I was like, it's going to take a turn real quick.
You're a moron. No, and also Lolth sucks. No, what I'm probably going to take the angle of is, of course, it seems so unnecessary to make these trips less pleasant. I mean, it's already unpleasant, right? Why add to it? Thankfully, there is a better path. I do know a method by which you could at least remove one irritant from this trip.
Go ahead and make an insight check.
Okay.
Wisdom insight.
You might. Oh, that's a good roll. Holy crap! That's my first good roll tonight. It's like my wisdom saves are back. That's going to be. Oh God, what is my insight? My insight is just my whiz. So that's 21.
He says there is nothing wrong with Gracklestug. It is a perfect, fine city. And your gut instinct is telling you that he is not just talking to you. He's trying to make sure that somebody else hears him.
Yeah, no, I admittedly would have picked up on that myself. But yeah, no, I hear that. And I'm like, well, I agree completely. And I immediately go, I agree completely. There is nothing. This is probably the single best trading hub I've ever been to. By the way, that's not a lie. I've never been to another trading hub.
Indeed, this is such a fine, perfect place.
One of the things I like best is how well they keep order around here too.
Oh, they keep order
it's so
very
difficult.
well.
It's so difficult in the Underdark to actually have this kind of civility and nobility. It's very refreshing.
There are no problems in Gracklestug.
Of course, I agree completely. If you'll excuse me, me and my friend are going to continue selling our wares over there. If you or your friends have any interest, feel free to bother by. Otherwise, I will bid you adieu.
Of course, you should go.
Maybe I should stay now. Oh, I don't know. Now that you said that.
He kills you. No.
Without pause.
All right. Well, yep. Guys, sorry I died. So I head back. And then I go over to the Dorger.
One of the patrols?
No, the rich Dorger.
Oh, okay.
There were three groups. There was the Orcs. So I go to the Dorger and I'm like, this place stinks.
I'm sorry.
This place stinks.
Who are you?
My friend over there, my rich, noble friend, he come up with a brilliant solution to help reduce the problem, if you know what I mean. Here, and I'll
immediately make a persuasion check. You can tell that you're like, I gotta hook this guy, or else he's just gonna give me the cold shoulder like immediately.
Where's persuade? Persuade is it's +3. Thank God. I don't need it though. So that's gonna be a 16.
16. He says, "You are selling something. Tell me what you are selling. No fluff."
No fluff. Okay. Yeah. No. All right. We are selling an hour spell buff for your mask to make them smell better.
How much?
I forget.
Oh, free then.
No. I'm out of character. I don't remember.
It was 5 copper.
5 copper. 20 copper.
20 copper.
Not working on commission. Okay.
You mean 2 silver. Okay. Yes. He looks at some of his companions and he says something in Dwarvish, which obviously you can understand.
I mean, it's I'm a dwarf, right? The height might have given it away.
He's basically asking his accountant if they have enough pocket money to do this. And
I can bring it down if you need to.
Okay, 5 gold.
5 gold.
I mean copper. That's what I would say.
I'll take it.
This is an interesting turn in bartering.
Oh, sorry, Freudian slip. 5
of course. I mean, I like to say that's in character, and I'm just
he does say that in character. He seems confused for a moment.
Yeah, in character, I'm like 5 gold. No, this isn't worth 5 gold, sir. I'm not trying to bilk you. I'm just trying to make a little money.
What did I say? You
said 5 gold.
He blinks for a second, like he's confused, and says, "Oh, just 5 copper then."
Yes, 5 copper. We'll do 5 copper.
Very good.
We can do group rates too.
Yeah, we do group if you want to group up,
Oh, okay. He comes over with 3 of them.
Yeah, it's so.
There are three.
Does any of the do any of the drow come
exactly
over?
the same. What did you say?
Do any of the drow come over? Any of them?
No. No.
Can you stealthily cast prestidigitation? What's the range on prestidigitation?
That's a good question.
Because I think it's 30 yards, but I'm not actually sure.
10 feet.
10 feet. Okay, that's a lot less than I thought.
Pretty close.
Still, I'm going to actually ask you in character. I'm not joking. I want you to try and prestidigitate on one of their masks and make it smell like rotten eggs.
You know, this is supposed to be a checkpoint right here, and I said it was not a battle, but
I'm just saying. You can stealthily cast.
yes, you in the crowd you can attempt to stealthily cast.
Yeah, if this was if this was other circumstances, I probably wouldn't even ask. But I think you could get away with this one.
It would be either a sleight of hand or a deception to disguise spell casting in a crowd.
Are you sure?
No,
We're gonna be killed before we even get in the city. This is
very
great.
unsure.
I will say this, and actually, especially you, Haskins and Mark, because I know you have good insights. You get the feeling that fighting here would probably not go well for any side, no matter who started it. There are enough guards around here that you will probably die instantly.
And those are just the ones we can see.
See, this is
I'm phasing
why,
in and out.
Yeah.
This is why D&D needs an F5 button. Because I would totally just be like, you know what? Boom. All right. Bam. Just clobber the drow over the head.
It's like the worst game of Dragon's Lair.
Yeah. Just see what happens, See what kind of death animation we get.
Mm-hmm.
So what we need to do is
Oh, geez. Here we go. This is it. I've done it. I've screwed it all over.
you'll need to escort me around the people milling about, and that way you can advertise my services.
Oh,
and
that's a good idea.
we'll be able to pass them by and get me within range.
Okay. I'm okay with this. I probably shouldn't be, if I'm being honest, but I'm totally cool with this.
I don't want to do this.
Where's that F5? You know what? No, hang on.
Already too late.
I like the idea that Taston, because there's not actually malice in my intention, as weird as that may sound. This is an attempt to drum up sales, right? That's what I was asked to do. That's what I'm doing. And I'm like, hey, yeah, and we'll make them smell bad, and then they might get upset, and if they notice the spell. And that's when I do the inside, right? I look around, I see the guards, and I'm like, maybe we shouldn't. Maybe,
What is a drow mage's passive perception?
maybe we shouldn't. I've changed my mind, Sir
Yeah.
Liam. I mean, if you still want to, I'll be over there.
Well, if you're not going to help, then I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I changed my mind. Changed my mind. Might not be the best idea we've ever had. Sorry.
You do have 3 customers coming over too. So
That's true. I did succeed
you
on
are
that. Oh, speaking of which, I'm
selling.
gonna hit the orcs. I'm gonna hit the orcs really quick.
Sure.
okay.
All right, or I walk up to the orcs. You want better smelling masks?
You look over them. You notice they're not wearing like really great handkerchiefs. It's just kind of like draped over their front, and their tusks are sticking out. They've obviously just cannibalized some stuff they had when they got here. Probably their first time. They're like, huh?
Do you want some new masks
Hmm?
that we could add whatever smell you want to them?
Meat.
Meat? Yeah. We could bacon, cooked sizzling bacon.
He looks over the image and the bacon is pretty good.
Uh-huh.
Best
Yeah, where's-
idea ever.
Mm-hmm.
Where's it at?
Right over there.
Okay.
5 copper each.
All right, we can pay that.
Okay. Got you a couple more.
Bacon.
And so there's some wealthy orc mercs coming over.
Yep.
And Ron's like, hey.
Oh, what's Ron? We should have already done Ronce's bacon, so he could like attest to how good
yeah.
it smells, right?
You can see him like occasionally just unconsciously like lick the.
Yeah, he's just like,
He's eating it.
chewing on it. Yeah,
I can almost taste it.
it's right there. We'll get you some bacon, Ron. Don't worry.
All right, we'll do the order first.
I don't want to add a taste as well. That's just a bad combination. You'd actually eat it.
Yeah.
Probably. You notice these orcs are like a lot more there than Ront.
That doesn't take much. Anyways.
Yep. So the Durgar do come over to you, Liam. There are three of them. One of the ones that you figured out as one of the more wealthier ones. And he, as soon as he gets there, he looks at you and gets straight down to business. He says, Where's Salt Baron? I'm told you can do enchantments or something of some sort to make our masks smell better.
Do you have a preferred smell?
He says,
If it's something I'm familiar with, I can accommodate, or I can come up with something.
Smoke? Do you know how to do a smoked raw cheese? You've had some of this at some point in time in Blingenstone.
Okay.
Just like a fine smoky cheese, basically.
Okay. I can certainly do my best.
Good. And they will have the same. And he points at two of his other people who seem to have no choice in the matter. And he just goes ahead and gives you the he actually gives you 5 gold.
Are you sure about that, sir?
What am I sure about what?
That's certainly
I'm actually going to make a gesture when I see the gold. I'm just going like,
cheese, cheese, cheese.
Very good. It smells nice. Thank you.
It'll last for about an hour.
That's just good. You're good enough to get past checkpoint. Checkpoint very, very busy. Maybe I see you there.
Good day to you.
And he just turns and goes away, seemingly done with conducting his business.
all right, now I've this whole time I've been pickpocketing him. How much gold did I get?
If you want to try,
No, I'm kidding.
Pickpocketing.
I was just thinking to myself, if I was a rogue, that would exactly be what I'd doing. Pull them over, sell them a legitimate thing, try to sell them on it, and then just rob them blind while they're over there, you know? Just...
All right.
You said 5 gold?
Yeah.
Okay. I will take 2 gold, and I will give the other 3 to Mark.
Thanks. I eat it.
Can't give you anything nice.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. 4 orcs approach you.
Did you not just essentially do that? Rob them blind?
I mean, yes.
Fair.
Yes, we just sold 3 casts of Prestidigitation in 5th edition. It's important. For 5 gold.
Yeah.
How many of you have ever played World of Warcraft back in vanilla when mages would sell buffs? Because that's what we just did. Because those buffs cost like 20 silver to do, and some people are like, yeah, 5 gold. 5 gold for buffs.
I mean, I guess I can offer to cast mending on broken items.
That's the thing, though. These people here are wealthy. They don't have broken items right now.
I was going to say, that doesn't...
Wait.
I don't have the market, really.
Wait a minute.
So you have an idea.
Genius. Create the market.
At that point, you might actually need to make sure that people can't.
Oh my god. Just walk over. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, I can fix that.
Selling
for a
magic is
nominal
one
fee.
thing. Breaking stuff and then offering to fix it for a price is another.
Listen, I'm
You see, I've got everybody distracted while I'm doing the prestidigitation.
Right.
It's true.
Oh,
That's
okay,
true.
yeah, no,
That's when it's breaking stuff.
Lightning bolt.
Perfect.
Boom. I can fix that.
Yep. Oh my god. No. I am still a good character, despite all demon absorbing to the contrary.
Yeah. So 4 orcs approach you, Liam. They are dressed. They're obviously mercenaries, but they're probably very wealthy mercenaries. They have like plate armor and stuff you got to drop like thousands of gold to get.
Wow.
You look at them, you're like, a couple of those things have got to be magic items. Like, you look at them and they're like, they're not carrying anything, but they all have got some pretty nice looking bags of them. So they're probably loading up some bags of holding or something like that. And one of the biggest, the tallest one approaches you and says, "So your door friend over there told me that you're selling bacon scented masks for the city."
They last for about an hour, but yeah,
Oh,
it'll at least get you through the gates into the city.
yeah. I suppose that's fair enough. Sure. How much you charging for them?
If you don't have a mask, it's a silver each.
They look at the masks that they have on them, and they're like, "Yeah, what mask you got?"
Crap.
I mean, surely we have some kind of cloth in the party,
Surely.
right?
Yeah, I'm sure
Start turning up a cloak
at some point.
I would assume by this point, the other people in our caravan would be helping out and probably creating masks for people to purchase.
Yeah, sure. They got nothing better to do.
Right.
I mean, they don't.
Put them to work.
They're waiting in line.
Right.
Using
So-
Dawnbringer as cutting shears.
Oh, you bringing Dawnbringer out?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Every single Underdark race is like, no.
Yeah, well, that went well.
Suddenly,
Yeah,
Tassin
they
is a
can-
pincushion.
Yeah,
They can get you stuff. I mean, it's not fancy because they're kind of scavenging because they don't have like fine cloth or anything like that. But no, there's some extra bandanas and stuff that Ari has that they're offering.
So, yeah. No, we are no.
Okay.
Oh, no. We're not getting the cloth from her. To be clear.
Yeah.
It wouldn't. Hers actually would not work very well. It's a little gossamer. So yeah, and the Orc will strike up a conversation with you while you're getting that prepared. And he's like, "So this is me. I'm Rat Rag. This is my Raiders. Rat Rag's Raiders. You've probably heard of us." Rot's like, "Oh, I'm Rot." He's like, "Good for you."
History?
Sure.
14.
14. Haven't really heard of these guys. Probably obscure.
It sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't say that I'm familiar with you.
Yeah. Well, word travels around a bit. Just here to do some business. And Gracklestug's, this is your first time to the city, isn't it?
Aye, it is.
I can tell. Yeah, it's a little busier than usual. I'm afraid you've come at quite a busy time. Deep King's been issuing a lot of edicts, so watch out for yourself. They're just between you and me, they're going after a lot of non-citizens, issuing a lot of weird edicts.
Such as what?
Well, I mean, just random things. Deep King's seen fit to punish like entire clans for random reasons. Like you overproduced a bunch of weapons this month, so therefore you get a few people executed. Things like that. I don't know. I mean, it happens. It just doesn't happen this much. And you know that, I mean, if there's one thing that Gracklestug's good at, it's locking down information. If you're hearing about it outside, there's a lot of it going on, more than we've actually been hearing about. But, I mean, sometimes it happens, right? You got to shake things up a little bit. I mean, Deep King held on for 100+ years without knowing what he's doing.
Still a bit of an extreme punishment.
Oh, not really. I mean, well, oh wait, first time, right. So something you should know about this place. Any crime is punishable by death.
Any?
I've decided we
Any
should
crime.
leave.
Yeah. I mean, it's kept criminals off the streets for sure. You don't hear about any stealing. You don't hear about any vandalism. Everything is great. But if you do a little bit of murdering or something like that, there goes your head right in the middle of the city. Well, I say that. If you're a non-citizen, that's what happens. If you're a citizen, then you do actually get a hearing, right? I mean, they're not that unreasonable.
I turn and look at Bupido.
He's like, yeah, that's pretty much true.
And we're just hearing about this now?
Well, I mean, yeah. honestly, it's not as bad as this guy says. And he's like, oh no, it's really not. Look, the first time I went here, I was like, wow, that's really extreme. I mean, I was part of an orc war band, and we weren't even that extreme, but I've never actually seen it happen. Right? I've been here probably half a dozen times, never seen it happen. Like, I mean, it's not like you go over there and, accidentally break a doorknob and they're like, oh, vandalism, off with your head. It doesn't work like that.
Okay. So we're not going to get killed for the wrong soup spoon at dinner.
No.
Okay.
I mean, look, if there's anything you should know about the Durgar is they're more pragmatic than interested in just chopping random people's heads off, right? So yeah, the punishment for any crime is death. But if you go around and spray paint something, if they're like, look, we can either chop your head off or you can work this off for indentured servitude over 6 months. I mean, they'll take that, right? It's not an official punishment, but they'll take it because they just don't want to kill you because that's not very useful.
Right.
But I mean, but yeah, if you go in there and you murder a shopkeeper, yeah, they're going to chop your head off. Like, whatever.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
So, sorry for the scare.
Just caught us a little off guard.
Yeah, I mean, it catches everyone off guard. I mean, you'll see a sign about it, right? Just whatever you do, don't hang out in the no loitering areas. They're actually really serious about those. Like, really serious. Deadly serious.
It's okay. I'm just going to take this skateboard onto this sidewalk.
Don't do that.
Yeah, no grinding on the rails. They hate that.
Yeah.
No. No, I mean,
Wearing white, it's after Labor Day.
Even if you think you're not being watched, you're being watched. I mean, these suckers can turn invisible. You're watched all the time.
Good to know.
Oh no, I fell.
Oh my God! No!
Oh no! Hold on a second.
The orc died. We save him. We save the orc immediately.
What crime did he commit?
Sorry, I had a little too much beer. But anyway, back to what we were talking about.
That beer, man. That Dorgar beer, that just hits you.
Yeah.
No, Dorgar beer is really good.
Really?
I'd say, any of you have writs? It's your first time, but asking.
I'll look over the caravan master.
Ari shakes her head. She says, "No, you ain't gonna have any writs. As a matter of fact, none of us are gonna have any writs. We're gonna be confined to the merchants area." And he says, well, that's fine. You can still get some good ale in the merchants area. If you look, what's that place called? There's a place, it's some dwarven establishment. I mean, it's something like Bulle. Yeah, it's called Bulle. That's not the actual name of it, but it's some dwarven name that translates to Bulle. You go there, you'll get some very, very fine Dwargar-made alcohol. Top rate. That's where I'd recommend staying. And Ari says, "Oh yeah, I know the place. We're planning on staying there anyway. It's called Goral Braun's Lair. And for those of you who can speak Dwarven, you know that translates to Bille's Lair." And Ragtag says, "Yeah, that's the one." And at this point, he gets his mask. He says, "Look, I'm going to get back to the rest of the band, but take care. Hopefully, we can meet up sometime if you happen to be staying in the city for a while, right?"
That would be agreeable. And if you need that mask refreshed, just let me know.
Yeah, we'll seek you out. We'll probably meet you at the tavern sometime.
Excellent.
And watch those steps as you're walking back. Now, don't you trip him again.
No kidding. I mean, I didn't even see him. Oh, and he puts it on and says, it is really good. And they head off.
Tell your friends.
He did. They were with him. All right.
Get more friends.
Sorry, I have no friends.
Wow.
So the line keeps moving. You get your other gold that you get from distributing the prestidigitation masks. And you do eventually reach the checkpoint proper, where you see people being led off into various waiting areas The mounts and the goods are taken over to a separate check-in area. It's all very, very regimented and official. You're instructed to line up in a waiting area, and there are 4 horizontal slots that are being used by an individual one at a time, where they seem to be getting checked in. And Ari explains that we just need to get all of you checked in. They'll just ask you a few questions, give you an official... you're not going to get a writ of passage, I know for sure, but you'll get something that'll identify you and let you into the city. So if any of the patrols stop you and ask for papers and something, just show that to them, and assuming you're in the right place, it'll be fine, right?
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. So she mainly keeps to attending, the mounts and stuff and the goods that are being unloaded, and she obviously has to go through a lot of paperwork. Like, she's like, this is going to be a while. In the meantime, the other deep gnomes, and I'm assuming you, unless you just want to wander off and do something else, get in line and wait for your papers. And it's pretty fast. You can't exactly hear what's being said because they're about 15 to 20 feet away. You're not allowed to wait right next to them. But pretty soon it comes up to your turn. Who's going first?
I'll go first.
All right. So you go up to the booth. There's just this really narrow horizontal slit, and you can just barely see another Duergar on the other side. Not armored up, but he looks incredibly bored. As a checkpoint guard has an incredibly exciting job. And he looks through the slot at you, and you can tell that there are crossbows probably pointing at you from the various buildings and stuff. You're definitely being watched. And you can see movement from behind him. So there's obviously other people inside there. But he looks through the slot at you, takes a glance, and he says, okay, full name?
Leo Mulbrinter.
All right. He looks to the side. You hear some shuffling of papers, and he says, okay, Brentor, no further questions. And he slides out a paper that has your name on it. It looks like it's already been penned.
Okay.
And the rest of it's written in Dwarvish. I guess you don't speak Dwarvish, do you?
I can read it. I can translate if you need me to.
Well, he instructs you to go over to the side. You can't get back in the line. What are you doing?
Sorry. I was just helping a friend out there.
If you cut in the line, they will take your head off.
He knows speak Dwarvish, so I was just trying to help him.
Who's next?
I'll go next.
Okay. Full name?
Marek.
No clan name.
I actually double checked my character sheet. I do not have a clan name.
Solo. No.
Oh God! I was trying not to make the joke.
Damn it.
No. So clanless. Okay. Profession.
Monk.
You is a monk. Unfortunate. Sorry. Have you encountered any demonic presences recently?
Yes.
You have.
Yes.
He looks up, looks surprised. You have.
Yes.
Where?
What was the name of that
And
lake?
you see him look to the side and give it a little nod.
What was the name of that stupid lake?
The Dark Lake, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Dark Lake.
The Dark Lake, was that it? No, but I'm asking the wrong. Where's tabletop? Oh, God.
We were in Sloopadoop.
Sloopadoop. That was it. Sloopadoop. I answer.
Okay. He keeps nodding at you. A door opens up on the side and 4 guards come out.
And then I'm killed.
And they say, please come with us.
Okay.
Okay. And you are led away into a side room. We'll get back to that in a little bit.
Yep. To be continued. They have to get their daily beating quota out.
I was going to say, cut to Mark just getting worked over.
Boom, boom, boom.
Hasn't asked a question at all. They're just punching him.
Welcome.
Yeah.
They give you a little, visitor's basket and they send you on your way. So, a couple of the deep gnomes look around your leg test and they're like, well, that doesn't look good.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before. Okay. Taston?
Yeah, I'll step up.
Full name?
Taston Mott.
Okay. What is your profession?
Cleric.
Cleric? Oh, good. Have you encountered any demonic presences recently?
Define recent.
Ever.
Not in the last day. Ever?
Not the last day. 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. In recent memory.
In recent memory, distantly, yes.
How distantly?
Ooh.
See, this is why I was
the-
just honest.
I was gonna say, do the quick math of like when we were in Sloopadoop. That was like what, a month or two ago, or at least a few weeks. I'm trying to think of like, I know in real time that's been months between sessions, but like in game time, that's
in game
like,
time, it's been 3-ish weeks, maybe.
Okay.
Well, a little more than that actually.
about a
Yeah,
month and a
because
half.
travel time.
Yeah, travel time.
Okay. Say about a month and a half.
He looks to the side and nods. The door opens and 4 guards come out.
I'm telling you,
Let's do this.
This is where it is. We're ready to get worked over. We're about to go to war with the whole city.
Okay, yeah, and Liam, you're like back there on the other side of the checkpoint. You see both of your friends being led away into side rooms with 4 guards each.
They didn't ask him the demon question. What the heck?
Random checkpoint.
Profiling.
Oh yeah, random checkpoint. Yeah.
Yeah, no. He turns to look at the camera. No ticket.
Okay, so I'd expect both of you to get in here. All right, so you're led into a side room, a side hallway rather, and these are pretty large rooms. They're not like little corners, and there are guards on either side of you. You both have 4 each, fairly heavily armored guards, and you are led into a larger stone room that is made of almost like pitch black stone, and there are several chairs in there that are open. The rest of them are occupied by other creatures, most of them Duragar, but there's a few other ones that you recognize as probably out of towners, merchants, that sort of stuff. There's a couple of Darrow in there, the little and they're by far the shortest ones in there, and compared to Bupido, these ones look pretty crazy. Like Bupido's got like the messy hair and stuff going on, but their hair literally just like stands straight up, almost like they stuck their finger in an electrical socket. And they're just glaring at everybody in the corner, making teeth gnashing sounds and everything but foaming at the mouth. People are keeping away from them. But yeah, there's about a dozen other people in here, and the guards say, "You'll wait here," and then they push you in and then shut the door.
See, this is kind of how the other side of Papers, Please works.
Like
the part you don't see.
All right. Meanwhile, outside.
Damn it.
At this point in time, the rest of the gnomes has made it through. Liam, you notice they don't have the same paper that you do. And one of them looks over and says, so you mind telling us where you got a writ? You've been here before?
I cannot read it.
Oh. At this point in time, Ari gets done. She comes over and she says, all right, what's going on? Why do you have that? So you have a prearranged writ here?
Can you read this?
Yes.
Can you read it?
Yes. It's a prearranged writ.
I cannot read it. Can you read it?
Yeah, that's what it says. Prearranged writ. This means that somebody important has reserved it for you, or you've been here before. Do you have a company here or something that we didn't know about? You know what? Never mind. It doesn't matter. Like, there's more important things. But okay. Like, I'm not going to complain. It looks official. So before you say anything, don't worry about them. They'll probably be fine as long as they don't go off the deep end and start fessing up as to what's been going on. They're just going to give them a little bit of a interrogation, and they'll probably be fine. We'll probably see them about half an hour or so, okay?
Or parts of them.
In the meantime, I got to go and sort out some paperwork because apparently they've instituted some new edicts, which means that our cargo is stuck being inspected for probably days. And that's not going to work out. So, I mean, if you've got that writ, you honestly can just go on down to, what's that place called? The organization here is terrible.
The inn?
Well, no, I mean, if you've got a writ of passage, that means you can actually go outside of the merchants area. You got reign of the city. I mean, obviously, don't walk into the palace, right? Although with that, you could ask for an appointment, I suppose. But no, they'll probably take him to the Stonegars area, the Overlake Hold. You'll see it. It's a big fortress. That's likely where they're holding him. I don't know. One of my kids went through this once before. It's just a time waster. Don't worry about it. So I'm gonna get this crew, and she points to the other deep gnomes over to the tavern, the Bulay's lair, and we'll meet you there unless you want to come with us.
Is there any way to find out who would have issued the writ?
Yeah, I suppose you could probably. I mean, Overlake Hold honestly would probably be the best place. That's their whole security fortress, right? So if they're doing checkpoint stuff, then they're probably going to have information on it there. That's where I'd go, honestly. Although
Okay.
that's a little bit of a guess.
Well, I guess I'll make my way there.
All right. Good luck to you. Congratulations. Apparently, you're a little more important than I thought.
Apparently, I'm more important than I thought.
Mm-hmm. I know. We're all full of surprises, right? All right. See you later.
No,
Meanwhile,
the guard at the checkpoint gave me the writ.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back in the holding cell, you had
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, jump cut to people just getting the blood beaten out of them.
You haven't asked me anything.
Actually, honestly, it's rather boring because you are in there waiting, and about every 10 minutes, somebody will come and get somebody. You're obviously at the last of the line until the next person comes in, another Duragar who looks like he is not too happy about this. But he gets deposited at the end of the line. At one point, the Darrow get brought out, and they're kicking and screaming. But they get roughed up. There's no two ways about it. They get beaten up and taken out when they won't come peacefully. Nobody seems to want to talk to you. Nobody seems to want to talk to anybody in there.
I will immediately start to try and talk to someone.
Okay.
What are you in for?
It's just the Durgar next to you.
Yeah.
Okay. He looks sideways at you, but doesn't seem to want to say anything. If you'd like, you can make me an insight check.
Yeah, sure. I will do that.
I guess
I will
since you're
roll
there too,
crap.
you may do this as well.
Yeah, I rolled 8. So you got to do better than that.
I rolled an 8 on the dice.
Well, it's got
takes
to be
me to
better than
12.
8 total. Let's just say.
Yeah, it gives me 12.
Okay. Fortunately, you didn't roll super well. You can tell that this guy has great composure for somebody who's scared out of his mind. As a matter of fact, you look around, a lot of these people are, and the Durgar are actually really afraid, but they are doing their absolute best to keep it under control, and they seem to be pretty good at it. The people who are not Durgar, you can tell they don't know what's going on, and so they don't even know. They're just like, oh, all right, whatever.
So I turned to Merrick. So did we somehow just break the law by standing in line?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, that's fantastic.
I think that's just where that's in.
Any particular reason we know that Liam didn't have the same treatment?
I'm thinking look to the left, look to the right. I think it's profiling.
Oh, no, that checks out. Okay.
Yeah. So, you want to play offices and faxes?
I mean, if we got the time.
So we just start playing Offices and Faxes while we wait for the time to finish.
Okay, time passes. You get to your line, and you are. Let me see. I guess since. Would they know? Let me make a check real quick. Yeah, their intelligence is pretty good. All right, you're both taken out together. And you are escorted by 12 Durgar. As well as someone who seems to be a little bit higher ranking, because although she wears the same armor, she has on her helmet 2 golden strips, which I guess you can make a history check if you like. This is not common knowledge.
I got a 10 total.
Natural 19, because I had no bonus in that.
Okay. So you know that this is the symbols of a commander, pretty high ranking in the Durgar establishment. So not like the captains or the grunts around here. And you are taken down to several hallways deep, a cell that seems to be carved out of this very, very thick black stone, which leads into a very dark office. You know, it's the classic. They've got this one single lantern hanging over the table.
There are 4 lights. Can we just start this now?
There are 4 lights. And she opens up what looks like a scroll. She sits down in one of the chairs. You notice that there are no chairs for you two. And 2 guards remain in the room while the rest of them leave and close the door. And she looks up after reading the scroll for a minute and says, so, Mark and Teston, huh? Those are your real names?
Last I checked.
According to my parents.
So tell me, what demons have you consorted with?
None.
I'm going to need a little bit of a definition on consort with there.
Yeah.
What? Who are you working with?
Him.
Ditto.
Oh, and Liam.
She writes down something on her scroll.
Yep. I'm totally throwing you under the bus here.
Well,
Liam, actually, I forget his last
You
name.
feel the slight pain in your heart as you're heading towards the overly cold.
Felt a disturbance of the force.
Something's poking me in the back.
What is that?
Listen, I don't know what. It just slipped. Okay.
So, by the way, Liam, so you get out there, and I mean this place is a proper city, right? They've got a proper map, a directory in the middle. You notice that almost everybody who's out of the city is being ferried off to another area, which is marked the Dark Lake District, and they've got common, undercommon, dwarven titles for everything. They're obviously used to seeing. They're used to having people who don't speak dwarven come here. But you notice that there are signs which point to other areas outside the Merchant District, and one of them is the Overlake Hold, the place you were instructed to go. And so, assuming that's where you're going, you veer off in that direction. You get stopped constantly. You are, you're sticking out like a sore thumb in here because there's mainly Durgar. And if they're not Durgar, it looks like they're indentured servants or slaves. So you get stopped and no, give me your writ. And you're there, and they're like, oh, okay. And they let you go. No real problem, but you get stopped a lot.
Okay.
And when I say stopped, I mean 8 guards just turn from invisibility to visibility in front of you.
I am going to, after getting stopped several times, I'm going to ask one of the guards who does stop me, any chance I could get an escort to Overlake Hold? I'm getting stopped more than I feel comfortable with, and I just feel it might be prudent to expedite my travel.
Well, sure, make a persuasion.
1923.
Okay. The captain looks at you and says, yeah, we will give you escort. No problem.
I appreciate it.
And you have to wait for just a minute as they get somebody to take their post and not leave it unmarked. But somebody does. They seem to have people just like in reserve that can be there within a minute or so. And you don't know how exactly they signal them. They just show up. But they do. And they escort you off. And at that point, yeah, you don't get fully stopped anymore. So one thing you'll notice about the city, since you're actually getting like the grand tour now, is that these people are pretty much bereft of any art, music, anything like that. It's just constant hammers and machinery clanging, even in the nicer areas that you're going through. Nobody seems to be actually dressed up. Everybody's like wearing the same type of clothes, and you figure out pretty quickly that's really based on their, not so much their class, but their profession.
Okay.
So as you're going through, you're like, okay, that person does that, that person does that. You're picking it up pretty quickly. But you know, even if they're like all blacksmiths or something like that, they're all wearing like the same clothing. All the buildings look like they came out of the same blueprint. You know, with some exceptions. You know, it's not completely the same.
This is Model 3A from the Sears catalog.
Yeah, kind of like no. I mean, you're a proficient in investigation. You start to notice patterns, right? Where they're like, oh yeah, that's block, you know, design, you know, 21A, things like that. It's all laid out, you know, fairly impressively if you're just trying to make this, you know, logical, you know, laid out city. The only thing they really seem to do that's kind of odd is they make things entirely too big. So you'll go to a building and you'll see like, oh, that's one story, but it's 30 feet tall. Why? Or you walk through a street and there's like way too much street for what's happening. And you're like, well, you know, obviously, you know, this is a well-traveled street, and you see people walking up and down it. There's carts and everything, but you know, they built it entirely too big. Like they just wasted space. Maybe there's a plan, maybe not. Who knows? But that's what you notice as you go through, and it's really easy to find stuff because everything's labeled.
Okay.
Everything is labeled, both in common and undercommon and dwarvish. But you come up to a place called Dungloren Torun, which translates to Overlake Hold. Looks like it's a fortress carved into the heart of this stalagmite, and it is close to the shores of the Dark Lake. And you see that everywhere they seem to have built-in forged chimneys, even like houses and stuff. They're just constantly going. There's just smoke bellowing and going all over the place. You can see that there's catapults and automated ballista all over this hold. You think it's pretty fortified, especially against waterborne invaders. And the guard escorts you to the front and bring you in. Meanwhile, we go back down to the lower dungeons of Overlake Hold.
Meanwhile,
yeah, you go back and there's still, you know,
it's just the whole time. For the last 2 hours, it's just they just been rotating.
So you figure out pretty quickly what's going on. Both of you with the high wisdoms and insights. They obviously have really nothing on you aside from the fact that you say you have just heard or seen demonic stuff lately. But they are grilling you to see if you'll like slip up something, to see if you'll admit to something, because they already know. So I guess the question I have is this: do you actually tell them anything about what has been going on with the demons?
It is a good
What
question.
you've seen.
If they're antagonistic, no.
Yeah, I think their attitude.
She's fairly antagonistic, yes.
Yeah, so
Then in
I'm
that
not
case,
gonna-
no.
No.
And I'm not a good liar. So
If they were
it's not
asking
good.
for help, that's one thing. But if they're going to be like, oh, I mean, her opening question of how long has it been since you've been consorting with demons? Like, nope, that's not my style. Nope.
Listen, I don't know what that succubus told you, but
Yeah.
no. I'm completely with you. I was willing to be completely helpful and legit if they're concerned about what's going on. But
Yeah.
this just sounds like they're smearing, right?
Yeah.
So screw 'em.
Yeah, actually, if you'd like, well, both of you, I guess, make an insight and also a deception if you're just playing purposely.
The insight is 13.
13.
Oh, thank God. The deception's much higher. That's... Wait, I have +0 deception, don't I?
Yeah.
Where's my deception? Yep, nope, +0. Thankfully, I rolled an 18, so...
Okay.
Insight is 22. Deception was 15.
Okay. So Tassin, on your insight, a couple things. The first thing is the gut instinct you get is that she's not really serious about like most of this stuff. She's just going through a mental checklist. The second thing is that at certain times she seems to actually be leaning into the antagonistic stuff, and then she seems like she catches herself like, oh wait, that's not what I'm supposed to be doing, and then goes back to the normal mental checklist. As far as the you tell like, I've seen it, you make up some story about how, I said yes, but maybe actually that wasn't demonic corruption, and eventually after a lot of questioning she seems to just instantly say, okay, you are free to go. Closes up the scroll, and the two guards step back, and one of them opens the door.
All right, we immediately kill them.
Oh, right.
I was going to thank them for their hospitality, but we could go that route, I guess.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing, if I'm being honest. That's thank you. From an out of character perspective, does the book actually cover what happens if they, if we admit to demon stuff?
The book?
Got it. So what would happen if we admitted to demon stuff?
Nothing good.
Okay.
I mean, initially my plan was to like if they were gonna like grill us about it and they needed help, I was gonna like, yeah, we helped defend Blingingstone from an invasion from Jubilex.
Hi, McCarthy. I'm a communist. How are you?
Well, yeah, that's probably not the yeah.
That's all I wanted to know.
Way slowly.
Yep. So the guards are still out there. One of them says, you will need to have somebody from your caravan pick you up. You may not roam the streets alone. If no one picks you up in 12 hours, then you will be tossed out of the city.
Good to know. Thank you.
Okay.
Very, very much.
Meanwhile, back up at the top of Overlay Cold. Liam, I don't know how much paperwork you went through when you were in the above ground land as a noble. I mean, maybe you've written a lot of this. Maybe you've written a lot for your wizarding essays, things like that. It's almost like being back there. Like, sign this, do this, and this is just to get in, because you find out pretty quickly, yeah, they're here. And yeah, they've been questioned, but they've already. They obviously don't think they have anything, so they're like, you've got a writ of passage, you can pick them up, whatever.
Okay.
You just got to sign, 10 forms in triplicate. Yes. No, that was form 41B. You need 41C.
There it is.
I'm getting that 3 gold back from Mark when I'm done with this. Mark and Taston, no sooner than you were brought through this labyrinthine dungeon, and it is big. Like, you pass a lot of stuff, but it's completely silent. Nobody seems to be doing the normal crying out or screaming or anything, despite the fact that the cells are fairly full. And you were brought up several levels. There seem to be several levels of this dungeon into a proper waiting area, and you're not there for too much longer before it is announced that someone is there to pick you up.
Thank goodness. We'll wrap up this offices and faxes game later.
Yeah. You're just saying that because I was winning.
And Liam, several guards bring them out to you. Marketas and you emerge out into the front waiting area where all the paperwork's going on, and Liam's just there waiting, like mom picking up someone from police station.
Sounds about right.
Hi, Liam. How are things?
So we don't get any paperwork at all. We have to basically stick with Liam, who has a writ of passage, and he'll be our chaperone. essentially.
Apparently.
I mean, not that I'd want to go back and stand in line to have the same question at the entrance point again, just to be taken down to be interviewed again.
I'm going to ask reception, whatever. Are they going to get any paperwork for passage?
They look at the papers that they already have on them. They say, no reason. They can apply, but waiting time is generally about 6 months.
No, that's a hard pass then. Okay.
Is there anything else I can help with?
The surface. Like we should ask about this in advance, I think, because we should spend as little time in this goddamn city as much as we can.
Yeah.
We need to get out of the city.
This is clearly a bad idea.
Surface.
What about surface?
Surface.
Yes, I've heard this word before.
I grab it.
Surface. Surface.
Chop.
And back to the cell.
Like 16 arrows and bolts just come from all directions, and
they hand you a Windows Surface.
There you go. What
it doesn't have a touch
Someone
screen.
other than me, I have like no charisma. Someone other than me should probably roll.
So we'd like to either be given guided passage to the surface or be given a map to the surface if possible.
Oh, okay. You want to purchase services then? You go to Blade Bazaar more than likely, and you find somebody there. Once edict lift, then you can leave.
What's the edict?
No outbound travel at the moment.
Is there a description as to why?
When you say outbound travel, do you mean we can't leave the city, period?
Yes, no one leaves it.
That's directly contradictory from what we were told that if we
have made a mistake.
There's no edict.
Oh my God!
As of 5 minutes ago, we were told that if we didn't have somebody pick us up,
edict been in place for a while.
Okay.
We just
I'm
got
only
some
asking
people
because we
coming
were
in
told if we didn't have someone to vouch for us, they were going to kick us out of the city, which means we would be kicked out of the city, which we now can't be kicked out of because nobody leaves the city.
Oh, I'm
Hence
not
my
responsible
confusion.
for what somebody else say.
Okay. Yep. This is going to go well.
No, edict probably left 3 months from now or something. It's fine. Enough time for you to apply.
Hooray!
Yes. Many jobs in the city. You'll be fine.
Okay. I need a drink.
I'm gonna go back to strangling him just really quick.
Just because.
Hang on, F5.
Oh, as you are strangling me. This is
No,
Like, this wouldn't be the perfect time for the slow chain wrap. Come on.
it
man.
would, yeah. It's
Like the one time we could actually use that. No. Okay.
Well, do you have the paperwork for their applications?
Yes, it's over here. And he points to form, 52A, B, C.
I can't write in Dwarven.
You write in common.
Okay. I grab a couple copies.
Okay, there's a bunch of parchments.
Great. I have to put that on.
Might as well fill them out.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, you spend some time filling them out. They're done.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like at
Very
this point,
litigious.
yeah, let's go ahead and commit to it.
All right, he looks at them and says, very good. Assuming background check is okay, you get a chance to get this in 6 months. Thank you.
Is there any way to expedite it?
He says, if you perhaps get it expedited by some authority, maybe. But of course, top would be Deep King, but of course he's not going to do that. He's one who makes edicts after all that keep people in city. Some on the Council of Lords, maybe. But and he points at Liam and says, "This is no offense. This is the only person here I see who probably has any connection. So you two out of luck."
Thanks.
One last question, sir, if you don't mind. I was wondering, would you happen to know a good place where we can seek out some information? Would that be the service district as well?
Information. You probably go to Dark Lake District. That is where all information comes through.
Okay.
Go
Thank you.
to Dark Lake Brewery, maybe the bazaar, but they mostly sell stuff there. You are not citizen, so you go to Globorum's lair, and you get information there. There are many merchants and traders coming in that give you information.
They're very helpful. Thank you. All right. So what I do is I save state.
Okay.
Then I stealth, and then pickpocket, and then I put a grenade in his pickpocket, and then I unstealth.
All right.
I would have was going to do a poison apple, but that's just me.
Oh, that's even better. That's even better. Yeah. Oh my god.
He blows up. You hear immediately 50 people aggro and just beat you senseless. As guards
Instantly.
just burst from the walls.
They were already waiting.
Yeah, they know. They know.
Damn
They're like, there's a PC in there. You know what that means? You've trained for this day, man.
Yeah.
Hey, in this city, guards can literally appear out of thin air. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Well,
let's go.
This is already going good.
This is terrible. Okay. I'm thinking we should. Let's get out of here. I'm thinking we should prioritize figuring out what the heck's up with Liam. Right.
Can you read this?
Yeah. It says you have a writ.
yeah, it actually does say this is a pre-approved. This is a pre-approved special writ, basically for writ of passage.
You got a car loan. Great. Okay.
You didn't tell me your dad owned a dealership.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, oh, by the way, you two get your permits, just through an alternate route, obviously.
Yeah.
But they're not at all like his. Like, they actually have the right amount and stuff. His is printed.
This one's in crayon. What the hell am I going to do with this?
Mine's on a napkin. Oh God, I really do need a drink. Let's go get a drink,
Yeah.
and then let's figure out about your writ. Your special writ of I'm special. I mean, you could have told us you'd been down here, dude. We wouldn't judge you or anything.
Apparently, we need to have a conversation.
Apparently, at least
We also need to find out about what this edict is and why it's
seriously.
occurring.
At some point, well, I guess it doesn't matter. At some point, we need to convey to Liam to not even mention demons, but we need to do that in a way where we're not going to be heard about it.
Hey, so while we're walking around and we can't see anybody who can obviously hear us, don't mention demons. Fun fact. Yeah.
All right. So heading to the Bulay's lair, sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're traveling back, and Liam, you know the way.
Ooh,
You get stopped and stopped and stopped until yes.
Oh, great.
As we're heading that way, I want to see if I can, if we pass any inns or taverns that would be serving the what kind of ale was it that the
Oh, the Draugr ale. Yeah.
yeah, the
He
Draugr
didn't
ale.
give a specific name. He just said that the alcohol was good here.
Okay. No.
I mean, you do see places where they're obviously making ale here. As a matter of fact, the city seems to be very very grouped up. Like, you pass a certain place that has like the name of, like, let's see, where would you pass? Like, you pass a group of buildings and they just have the name in Dwarvish in common and undercommon Black Skull on them, and they seem to specialize in a certain thing. What do the Black Skull specialize in? Let's see. I believe it's weapons. Yep.
It wasn't really important. I was just thinking it would be funny to find some of that better, the better of the good ale to take with, but
Okay.
not important.
Yeah. At least on the way back, you don't see it, although from the directory that you've only covered like a fraction of the city.
Right.
So, all right. On the way back, unless you want to try and pick up another escort, you are continuously stopped and asked.
And we're the best character references for this too.
Exactly. And about the halfway point, as you're going through, the sound of the anvils are like almost all at once. The machinery just stops. And you hear that like that ringing in your ears, like there's been a bunch of loud sounds, and it just suddenly cuts out. And you hear this this great roar just echo throughout the entire cavern where the city is in. And emerging from way far on the other end of the city, you see the fattest dragon you have ever laid eyes on. Like this big red dragon that almost seems to be too fat to fly. You can see it just like listing and riding on the hot air currents going over here, and it seems to be going systematically around the city and breathing little gouts of fire down through some holes and roofs of buildings. And as it does, you hear like another piece of machinery and anvil start up again, and another, and then another. And it seems to be providing heat to the forges or other pieces of machinery that require it as it's going through. And the city all at once has stopped in order to get their refuel and then continue on once they have. And it seems like it's going to take a while to do, but it's just systematically going and zigzagging through the city doing this. And at a certain point in time, as you're almost back, it does pass over, and you get to see it do this firsthand. And it seems to have like this precision fire gout that just like streaks into the side of one of the buildings next to you, and you hear the machinery inside start up once again, and you can almost like just feel the heat coming from this building. This seems to be the way that they keep their forges running continuously. You make it back the first time to the... I'm sorry, Liam, you were going to say something?
Well, that was unexpected.
Yes, quite.
You make it for the first time, actually, for everybody, to the Dark Lake District. And this place stands out in stark contrast to the other places. It is walled off inside of the city. It is guarded by no less than 12 guards at the entrance to these large gates. And they're open right now. And you get your papers, of course, checked one last time before you're able to get in here. And you emerge into a place which is obviously the visitor / merchant / everybody who's not a citizen of the city area. Gone are the uniformed Duragar, except for just a few milling about doing various bits of business. But you see, again, the groups of merchants and traders and mercs and everybody else mingling amongst here. And this place is packed. Like, you come into a place that is obviously over capacity right now. People seem to be annoyed, as if they can't leave. And there is just a general sense of, you've been there before, where people are just sitting there waiting in line. They've been there for too long, so they're just trying to entertain themselves any other way.
Airport when your flight's been delayed.
Yeah, exactly. It's airport when your flight's been delayed. But nonetheless, you see a couple landmarks around here. There is, again, a directory here. You see that there's a marketplace called the Blade Bazaar. There is another sign which points to an area that is way next to the Dark Lake, and by this way, this place is next to the Dark Lake. It does encompass the Port District as well. There's a place way in the back called the Dark Lake Brewery. There's a sign pointing to the Dark Lake Docks. There is a sign pointing to a place called the Shattered Spire. And there is also another sign pointing to the place you've heard so much about, Gorlbron's Lair. And everywhere seems packed.
Well, I suppose we should try and see if we can find a room.
It's probably for the best. I'd imagine you'll probably want to do the talking, since your writ might give us better chances of finding a place.
Aye.
Okay. So you start pushing your way through the crowds, and it's not too much longer before you meet up with the Deep Gnome Caravan, who are situated outside of Gorlbron's Lair. They seem to be waiting. They are without their mounts and goods, which seems to have greatly annoyed Ari. She is fuming about how she has to go through a bunch of paperwork and how there's 5 new edicts that nobody told me about, which is causing all sorts of hang-ups. Yeah, she's just not having any of it right now.
Where can we find a listing of these edicts?
Well, she happens to have picked one up because she was thinking the same thing. She's like, okay, what in the world's going on in the city?
Right.
Like, this was nowhere near this bad, not even a tenth this bad the last time I was here. And look at this. And she pulls out, one of those scrolls, and you see the little go all the way down to the bottom. And she says, look, most of these have been penned within the last month. Now, there's a couple of old ones which are like, no non-citizens over there, in the residential district, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But look at all of these crazy ones. And she starts looking down there. She says, like, here's the one that's keeping us here where, you can't travel outside. There's no reason for it. It doesn't list a reason. It just says, you can't travel outside once you've entered the city, which makes no sense. There's one right here where, it restricts musical instruments only to Duragar. That makes no sense. One over here, there's like a dozen personal admonishments of certain clans for no particular, like Hammer Cane right here. Like it says that it says they can't sell beer. They don't even make beer.
Well,
none of these make any
established.
sense. Well, yeah, now they can't. But obviously,
right.
But
not like they were doing it before.
Sense. There's two separate ones saying that ships can't leave. I don't know why they had to clarify that twice.
Is there a body of water around here?
Yeah, there are. This is pushed up against the Dark Lake, hence Dark Lake District.
Right.
Okay. And there are some docks. You notice that every single ship is docked. There's nothing leaving.
Okay, so this kind of leads me to believe there's going to be a lot of unrest here if you can't do anything and you can't leave, but people are still allowed to come into the city. It's going to reach a critical mass eventually if you can't leave.
Yeah, it's nuts. I don't know what they're doing. The Duragar are never this. She lowers her voice. The Duragar are never this stupid. They keep things running efficiently. They keep things running, but it's just been nothing but paperwork, nothing but really weird edicts. I don't know. I've asked around. Nobody seems to know why. It just happened in the last month all of a sudden.
Okay, and all edicts come down from the Deep King?
That's true. Yes.
Okay. So,
it goes through the Council of Lords, but in the end, he has the final say, right?
Sure.
So I don't know. Listen, I know this is not what you four. She looks over at Asha. You four signed up for. So let me say this. When you decide to sneak out, just let us know and we'll cause a distraction for you, all right? Because we're going to be stuck here no matter what.
Okay, we'll keep that as a plan B because I don't know if you've noticed the level of guards, but yeah, that seems like a potential possibility.
There are a lot, but I don't know. I seen, or rather, I haven't seen you guys sneaking around. So I think you could probably do it if you have to leave. Now, I know you want to get back up to the surface, and I'm sure there's somebody amongst this crowd who wants to get out just as much as you folks do. So I'm sure you could strike up some sort of deal. I'll keep my ears open. The boys will keep their ears open as well while we're here waiting for paperwork to process. In the meantime, I don't know. Maybe we should just take a load off and relax a little bit. It has been a long journey after all.
We've got plenty of time.
You're telling me. I'm like 200 years old, and this is still annoying.
I think one of our priorities should be finding out who issued the writ.
Yeah, absolutely. That might lead us to potentially some way of finding out who's been drafting these edicts to bring before the lords.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wouldn't have any way of finding out. I don't even have as much access as you, and she points at Liam. I still don't know why you have that.
Clean living.
Apparently. All right.
But on that note,
it is 11.
It is, yeah.
Or it's 11 here, rather.
I need to start getting ready for work. So,
okay.
Kind of a interesting cutoff point, but
It's
is
a
what
good
it is.
cutoff point.
We're now stuck in.
Papers, please, the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the name of the city. Where are we stuck?
Cracklestuck.
Cracklestuck.
Gracklestuck. That's right. We're
Gracklestuck.
Grackle stuck in. God dang it.
Oh, there you go. Damn it. It's good.
All right.
It's good.